Day 66. Numbers chapter 28, 29 and 30. Welcome, dear listeners, as we continue our journey through the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. We will be listening closely for the whispers. These are the quiet lessons hidden within the details of Scripture that may not shout at us immediately, but gently reveal God's heart when we slow down and pay attention. As the Israelites continue learning how to live as God's people, these chapters offer subtle but powerful insights that still speak into our daily lives today. So take a moment to settle in, open your heart and listen carefully for the whispers within the story. First, God instructs the Israelites to present daily offerings, a lamb in the morning and a lamb in the evening, every single day, not just on special occasions, not just when they felt inspired, not just when life was going well, every day. At first, this might sound repetitive, but there's a profound message here. God was teaching His people that relationship with Him is built through consistency. Many people today are waiting for dramatic spiritual moments, powerful prayers, emotional breakthroughs, or life-changing encounters with God. But the truth is that most spiritual growth happens quietly, in the ordinary routines of life. It happens in the short prayer you whisper before work. It happens when you open Scripture even when you feel tired. It happens when you choose patience, kindness, or forgiveness in daily interactions. Just like the morning and evening offering, faith grows through small, repeated acts of devotion. If you are seeking God and feel like your efforts are small, don't be discouraged. Those small acts matter more than you realize. God notices the daily lamb. Then God reminds Israel about the Sabbath offerings. In addition to the daily sacrifices, there was a special offering every Sabbath. Why? Because God wanted His people to pause. Life has a way of pulling us into endless activity, work, responsibilities, deadlines, worries about tomorrow. But God designed human beings with a rhythm, work and rest, effort and worship. The Sabbath wasn't just a rule, it was a reminder that people are not machines. Today many people feel exhausted spiritually and emotionally. Sometimes the reason is simple: we have lost the rhythm of stopping to acknowledge God. Taking time to rest, pray, worship and reflect is not wasted time. It is soul renewal. When you intentionally pause for God, you are declaring something powerful. My life does not run on my strength alone. And that pause invites God's presence back into the center of your life. We read how God gives detailed instructions for the offerings during Israel's festivals. The Passover, the Festival of Weeks, the Festival of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Festival of Tabernacles. These celebrations were not random holidays, they were reminders of God's faithfulness throughout history. God knew something about human nature. People forget quickly. We forget prayers that were answered. We forget the seasons God carried us through. We forget the miracles that once strengthened our faith. That's why God commanded celebrations, to help His people remember. Today, one overlooked spiritual practice is intentional gratitude. When you pause to remember what God has done in your life, your faith grows stronger. Think about the job you prayed for, the healing you hoped for, the door that opened unexpectedly, the protection you didn't even realize you needed. Celebrating God's goodness renews your hope for the future. If you feel spiritually discouraged, take a moment to remember the past victories God gave you. Your story already contains evidence of His faithfulness. The next whisper is at the point which talks about vows, promises people make to God. The passage emphasizes something simple but powerful. God takes our words seriously. If someone made a vow, they were expected to keep it. In today's world, promises are often treated lightly. People promise things when emotions are high, then forget them later. But Scripture reminds us that words matter. Think about the promises people sometimes make to God. God, if you help me through this situation, I'll change my life. Lord, if you open this door, I'll serve you faithfully. God, I'll trust you if you just help me this one time. God hears those words. Integrity in our relationship with God means aligning our actions with what we say. But this passage also teaches something hopeful. God desires honesty more than impressive promises. It's better to speak truthfully to God than to make grand declarations we don't intend to keep. If you're seeking God today, remember this: He values sincerity. A simple, honest prayer means far more than dramatic promises. When we step back and look at what we read today, daily offerings, weekly worship, yearly celebrations, thoughtful commitments, together they create a lifestyle of devotion. God was shaping a people whose lives revolved around remembering Him. And the same principle still applies today. A strong spiritual life rarely appears overnight. It grows gradually, through daily choices, rhythms of worship, moments of gratitude, and a heart that seeks integrity. If you feel like your faith is small right now, take comfort in this truth. God doesn't ask you to build a lifetime of devotion in one day. He simply invites you to take the next faithful step. Pray today, seek Him today, trust Him today, and tomorrow take another step. God values your consistency more than your perfection. He sees the quiet prayers, He honors the moments you pause for Him. He remembers the promises you make. And He delights in a heart that keeps returning to Him. So if your spiritual journey feels slow or ordinary, don't lose heart. The God who commanded daily offerings is the same God who meets people in their daily lives. And sometimes the most powerful transformation begins with the simplest act, turning your heart toward Him again today.